Welcome back to an episode of Spitfire. My name is Brice, of course. Joining me here, Tunn, as usual, to talk rubbish. But more importantly, our guests for this episode, the wonderful Reedy and Zero. Guys, how are you two? Reedy, how you feeling? You good?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I mean, I guess you was scraping the barrel asking me back on, but yeah, glad to
Whoa,
be
whoa, whoa,
back.
whoa! I like you coming on. You're very forthright with your opinions, and
You're
I
very
like
honest. You're very honest,
Mm.
Jordan.
that. You could say that you spit fire.
I'm
That is a
I'm
shite
fine.
Right.
by the way.
Yep, I can see why people don't want to come on. Let's move on to our other guest. Trei, how are you doing? One of the first confirmed rosters in 5v5.
Yeah, I mean, that was the quickest roster tweet out I've ever seen in my life. Even Ben didn't know he got tweeted out. I, had to I FaceTimed him like an hour after.
Parek's literally sitting there with a finger on the button, just waiting.
Yeah, I
Bang!
had
Out.
FaceTime Ben. I said retweet your tweet. He said what? He's announced me. I was like, yeah, that is. There it is. You're in our team now.
It was quite ridiculous. I mean, it was the most obvious roster move anyone had ever seen. But let's talk a little bit about Rostermania, because you two are on kind of separate ends of the spectrum. Obviously, Trei, it's probably been quite nice for you sitting there watching the chaos unfold, and there has been.
Whoa! I haven't been. I'm still a chance to get dropped, Bryce.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Since your band's on the team, man. Oi, 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 oi.
As soon as Ben's on the team, you're never safe.
Oi, 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 oi.
Nah,
That champs drops two other players, drops Trey
That's
off the winning of it. Oi, 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 oi.
That's a proven fact, but yeah, I assume I'm not getting dropped, so yeah, it's good to just sit here and watch.
Have you? Has it been one of those kind of cathartic things where, for the first time, you're like, well, we get to kind of see all the rumors come in and everything else, because you know your team's pretty much the secure team realistically in Europe. You guys have had your roster. You know what you're doing for next year. There's no one trying to leave, from what I understand. So it must be like this Rostermania is quite boring for you.
Yeah, I always liked Rostermania, like when I was in Infused, and then when it happened in Splice as well, just because you get everyone's like looking at you like what your next move is, but it's also nice having a secure team and a team that you want going into the next game. So it's a lot of fun listening to all the rumors and just judging everyone's team that's being made.
You get judging whether or not they can beat you, and I guess in the
Yeah.
answer, you know, oh, that's an interesting team. They might be able to do bits. Let's move on to Reedy then, because Reedy, obviously you have had to deal with Rostermania, and you did announce your team the other day.
Mhm.
Kind of going out there. How was it kind of pulling together your five?
Pretty easy to be honest. Like, even though me, Steve, and Bill had an awful traumatic year last year,
Yeah.
like the game just wasn't good for us, man. Steve wasn't very good at the game. I wasn't very good. Bill was decent, but he wasn't at Billy levels that everyone knows Billy's at. Um, like I just thought we might as well play on a faster paced game together because we all know we've got the talent.
Yeah.
And all we had to do was just find two other players. And Denz has been on mine and Steve's radar for a while now. I'm pretty sure he's been on quite a few players' radars. He's actually
Yeah.
a really good player, especially brings S&D to the table. And then Robbie's like one of Denz's best friends. They've teamed a lot, and he recommended him. I've watched Robbie a few events, and he's never not performed. All right, cool. He's never been in like a great team, and he's never done amazing.
Yeah.
Like only like top 24 placements, I think, and stuff like that. But he's a good player. He's like one to watch. And yes, indeed, like 5v5. You know, I was banging on about it last week. I think our team's going to be a very, very good S&D team.
Well, I mean, that's something you've always been known for, right? Your
Yeah,
S&D.
I thought that's what I wanted to somewhat get back as well, because last year in Epsilon, our S&D was so hit and miss. Like, it was either great or it was tragic. And as long as we have that one game mode that we know that we're going to win 9 times out of 10, like, it should help us a lot. So I was like, it was a really easy team to put together, to be honest. Like, I'm really excited to play with Steve and Billy on a new game. I'm really excited to play with the two Belgium kids.
Just want to quickly jump in. So was there a factor in teaming, obviously because you've got a potential to be slotting in pools, or were you just happy teaming with them anyway?
Well, we wanted Denz, and just to be honest with you, like, he had a lot of points. It was just like kind of lucky that he had a lot of points.
Yeah.
And then we needed an AR, and Robbie's an AR. Like, other ARs, you have Watson. Like, I ain't going near that kid ever again. Like, I love Watson to pieces, yeah. Great kid, but he fucked me over so many fucking times. Like, just get in the fucking bin. Like, honestly, like, I'm not going anywhere near him. Like, other than that, if another AR would probably be like James, but he's doing the coaching stuff for Red now. I'd love to bring him back, but like I'm not gonna pull him out of that situation because
Yeah.
he probably wants to stay there anyway. Like what he's doing with them is like pretty. In my eyes, he's by far the best coach in Call of Duty period. I've seen some of his work, and he does put a lot of a shift in. But so there's really no way ours, and then spoke very highly of Robbie, and it kind of made sense in my eyes anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the interesting thing is just how kind of swollen it's all got with like people in rosters now. And I'll get to that in just a little bit here, but what I want to cover first is we're all in a very privileged position outside the normal fans because we all kind of know a lot of what's going on in the background, and there are teams that haven't been announced. Now, one of the teams did announce is kind of the remnants of Team Sween. They've come out and put their team out. That was a surprise at Champs. Now they're kind of lining up to be one of the bigger teams in Europe, hopefully next year. But there are two teams kind of not announced, and we kind of know roughly what they are, but we can't say. One of them being that Unilad squad and the way they've gone, and the other being where Magcat has gone.
A lot of
Now-
people, like, if you looked at the rosters, though, like, you can kind of tell who's playing with who.
Yeah.
Reddit knows everything.
Like, you
can work it out.
You can put two and two together. If, like, you don't know who people are teaming with, like, you just
It's
you just
not
need
a-
to
it's not a
open your
simple
eyes.
thing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones like I'm not going to break that the breaking news. But like, was there anything that really surprised you for
Yes, but I'm
teams
not.
that come together?
Yeah, like
I'm not saying it.
I mean, I could go on all day about it. Like, I've like spoke to some of the other like European pros about like what's gone down, and I don't know, I'm mind blown myself at some of the stuff I've heard. But
I mind blown, and I'm shocked. Like
Good
I-
in a good or bad way?
I'm mind
I
blown.
think good because there's one team that I'm like kind of excited to see play. There's another team that I'm kind of like shocked the team was put together, but
I'm shocked at a
It
few
is what it
players.
is.
I'm shocked at a few players, and
Do you think that obviously, like I said, I don't really want to give anything away here because it's not our place. Next week maybe they've announced we can talk about it, but is it one of those ones where you think they can at least compete up at that high level? Because like I said, in my mind, for what I've seen in the rosters, right, it looks like there could be 5 good teams going into.
they could definitely compete. I'm just mind blown how it's gone down. Like,
yeah, I definitely think they'll
like if
they'll
you
both-
What,
like,
a bit shady wise or just?
I don't know about
unexpected?
shade, but if you told me some of the things that, like, if you told me some of the players that are teaming with each other and some of them that weren't, then, like, if you told me this, like, after champs, I'd have said no, not a chance. But
yeah,
now it's happened, then
especially after champs. We keep that one on the D-Saw as well though, but
It's
like,
yeah,
obviously,
for everything, 'cause
obviously, like, we're just teasing people at this point. But like, you just
Wait, it's
Wait,
something that I said. It's not our place to kind of break that news, even though
Yeah.
we all know, right? If we broke it, we would never get told again. But no, for me, I was very surprised by one of the teams, and just seeing how that all kind of come together, especially after the what happened last year during Rostermania.
Are you talking about the good team that we know, or the team that we've got question marks over?
all right. We need to stop doing this.
Yeah. I think we'll move on because we can't just keep alluding to it.
Let's just say every team in Europe's going to be good in it, but
Yeah.
we're just mind.
There's
just
five.
mind
There's
blowing.
five teams right now
Yeah.
that are at least capable of competing. Number one, of course, is Red Reserve, and everyone expects massive things of them.
Nice one, Brice.
No pressure. As
Hey,
usual.
I'm not gonna lie. It's very obvious you guys have been ready and set from the word go, and obviously you guys have had the least movement actually. I think of any team. You haven't dropped the player. I think everybody else has.
I had no need to.
Yeah. Well, you guys know what you want, and you went and got it. Let's move on then, because Reedy, you alluded to this. 5v5. The big change. It's a week on. How are you guys adapting to the future of Call of Duty esports?
I mean, I don't know. It's the same as I felt last week. I'm excited for the change. The all content's a bit different. I will say that for free.
Yeah.
Considering I'm in that aspect of it all, but
Has it been more difficult because of the wages you now got to bring in, or the structure? Because it's also, I believe, you can have a sub now, and that's actually what I wanted to talk about. It's kind of the rosters are swollen massively now because coaches are becoming more common. You can have 5 players and you can have a sub, so it's quite a big chunk of people now in that small area.
Let's
What
just
was it
say
already?
that you're going to be orgs that are looking for teams or getting into the league. You're looking to pay in a lot of money.
yeah. Someone
Yes.
may have infatuated the market a lot in Europe. No names, but stressed
Oh, I
me out a
know.
little bit.
And it ain't me.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, but you are right. Like it's a big investment now for Orcs. Did you not think that maybe wages will drop just a little bit? You know, well, maybe 10-15% to accommodate an extra player.
No.
No, you think that's just we're just gonna keep going up?
Yep.
Yeah. No. Let's just say no org has taken a pay cut to get the extra guy in. If anything, everyone's had a pay rise to get the extra guy in. It's mind blowing. Like we're going backwards. Let's just.
I mean, I'm not being funny, but I'm not going to talk specific money. But we know a lot of you do all right as well, though. Like, could there have been a potential drop for leeway? I mean, obviously not for you guys, Trey, but like, you know, negotiating. I suppose you have to step forward and say, right, okay, what?
Yeah,
what
but
are
like,
we got?
like if you look at it from our perspective, like, why are we going to be on less money than teams we've absolutely destroyed all year?
Oh yeah.
Just because it's gone to 5v5.
Yeah, of
Know what I'm
course.
saying?
Of course. Okay.
So I'm not taking a pay decrease just because Ben's joined the team. I'd rather not have been in the team.
Yeah, not from your point, I suppose. Because
Like,
you're-
45, that's very bold. That's very
Like,
bold.
Yeah, but I'm earning more money. You know what I mean? Like, no one's taking a pay decrease for the fifth guy. If anything, it's gone backwards.
So
It's mad.
there is one thing we can talk about Rostermania wise that I did forget to bring up because it was confirmed earlier in this week. EG were in talks with both Envy and Splice. Now, apparently, the Splice deal didn't go through, and they went to Envious. Do you think? What do you think? You know, do you think it's a bit chaos in the Splice camp now?
Mark's fault.
There's
I think
more that meets the eye with that one. In my
Yeah, like I know,
There's a
I
lot
know about
more.
that EG thing like a while back, and it's just not that clear to just yes, no, like we're going to them other than them. There's so much
Yeah.
more to it than just players because they, like, from my understanding, they both want to team with Hugh and Jerd. It's not like they just couldn't go
Okay.
on with Splice. So
I think Spice will be fine. I don't think there'll be.
I don't think they're in trouble. I just feel like if they don't try and make moves now, they're gonna get left with scraps. Not my teammate, like.
I did ask
Because you got
Mark,
to be careful there, Trey.
Yeah,
I did ask Mark to come on, but he told me he's making moves. But that's what he told me last week as well. So.
mate, he's been making moves for about a month and a half.
He's actually picked up a lot of players. He's just cut them all as well.
He's dropped them. all.
He's just been having a lot of fun
We
cutting.
we're playing FIFA, and I'm like, Mark, pass the ball. He's like, I'm sorting out something. I'm sorting out some business. I'm like, Mark, you are not sorting out anything. Pass me the ball.
Marky's trying to put himself back in the roster. That's what he's holding off on. He's waiting.
Yeah,
no players
we-
left.
yeah,
we said, yeah, he's dropping Jerd and building a roster around him. That's what
Yeah.
Mark's doing.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be the one that may get him fired. But no, that's interesting to see, you know, what they're going to do now. Because if you have a plan in place, and it was a good plan, right? EG to Spice, I would have loved to have seen that.
Would have been mental.
That'd have been a really good plan, but
It kind of fell by the wayside. But do you think we'll see more of that? Like they're going to look for another four, like a full squad, and just kind of rip them out and say, look,
Who
we're
else?
gonna
I could explain to you kind of why that happened after this stream as well, and then
Yeah.
you'll understand why this Rostermania has probably been the worst Rostermania ever. But
Right.
whilst we're on stream, it was a good time.
All right, that's kind of fair enough. And speaking of like the 5v5, now there's been a lot of talk about game modes and what we're going to change and how do we deal with the increased interactions. I think that the biggest thing after like a week of looking at all the points is, thank God we're not on AW, because the interactions for a hardpoint map 5v5 would be ridiculous. S&D everyone's looking forward to. Do you think we go down to 2 game modes? Do we bring in something like control? Do we look at like some we're going a little bit different, like CTF? They've had a kind of a week to kind of readjust and get used to it. What are you thinking along those lines?
I'm just going to jump in quickly. I think I had a good discussion with Lando about it. What about respawn time? A respawn delay on hardpoint?
I think we've got a sack hardpoint. I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I just feel like we're clinging on to just past years of hardpoint. Like obviously they might play it this year, but 5v5 hardpoint, I think it's gonna.
What do you put it in there?
Suck.
Hardpoint's been one of the
More S&Ds, go on.
more S&D.
3
Give me
I don't know.
more
You're gonna have to change something. I don't feel like replacing it with. I don't feel like replacing it with that shitey CS:GO one is gonna help at all. But I don't know. I don't know if hardpoint's gonna work. But I guess we're gonna play it this year and then decide after. Obviously we don't even know what the maps are or game modes are, so we might not even be playing bloody S&D at this point.
Well, I think S&D is the only one I can guarantee to 100% be in.
That'll be.
Unless they say-
I don't know if that'll even be good. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, bro, Trey, trust me on this one. Trust me, S&D specialist since 07.
Yeah, not 5v5 specialist.
Yeah, I played 5v5.
Yeah,
2 years, well,
hardcore.
3 years.
Go
Yeah,
walking a wall and womble at someone.
yeah, great fun.
It was shite. I've seen you play. It was awful.
Nope, it was great fun.
Wow, Jesus. All right. So differing opinion on S&D then. I think the one that people are kind of definitely sort of shying away from is CTF. I think people are worried about 5v5 having too many bodies on the map, making flagpoles more difficult. We've seen even on the last game, it can be difficult to break some of these setups. And when you've got spare players like rotating back, it could just be very, very difficult.
Worst bit about it is though, you try and take out all these game modes, but what are you going to put in place of them?
I mean,
That's the question. There's domination. Ace says you wouldn't dominate.
Yeah, but Ace is stupid. Like, why would you put domination back in? Let's be real. Like,
I agree.
it's an easy game to understand, but it's shite to play.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I kind of agree with not putting Dom back in. I just think having that kind of split up and having to do maths halfway through a game is not great. Plus, it's one of those games.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those things where if you're getting dominated, you can't come back.
Yeah, well, that's why I quite liked Hardpoint. Like, we had big comebacks all year after they improved it with the timer. But
yeah,
it's a difficult one to kind of see exactly how they're going to go for next year. I'm sure there's going to be playtesting going on just before we get it. I mean, we've got like.
I mean, I would assume so, but they didn't playtest a 5v5, so.
Well, you guys played the beta 5v5. Didn't some players also go to the studio?
Yeah, but it wasn't playing competitive. It was playing pubs.
You were playing pubs against other pros. Surely that's sort of like a playtest.
I wouldn't class that as a playtest.
No, but
I didn't know it was meant to be in discussion. I would have tried harder.
No, but like, we was playing like TDM and stuff like that. Like, we played like some control and stuff like that. Like, we said they were good game modes, but we didn't know. Like, if they're basing off there, I didn't know that was a playtest. I actually everyone would have been calling out, screaming call outs, and playing for what we'd see as like the next year. But
I think that's the thing about control is that a lot of people, I know some people have played it in a playtest or whatever, and you said it was all right, but what is it going to be like in a sweaty scenario where people are dropping bloody barbed wire all over the shop and putting trip mines down and stuff like that, depending on what the ruleset's going to be.
I just hope either Treyarch see like the weird stuff and get it banned, or we just put the GA back in. I know people hate saying it, but
I'm gonna throw a little bit of a wrench in this one because I do have an opinion on this. Like I made a video 2 years ago about banning stuff for Black Ops. Can't remember which one. I think it was 3.
It's a couple of years ago.
Yeah, trying to remember exactly what game. But here's the gist of it, right? From what I've seen of the game so far, I think this year may be the easiest to incorporate a very relaxed rule set. At the very least, for me, in my mind, there is very little you need to take out. Like, I think you could generally have almost all of it in. And also, what I was going to say is the big worry is on the games like WW2, if we went 5v5, is that's more grenades and tacticals on the map. That's not going to be so much the case in Black Ops 4 because of the way they've structured the equipment coming in. So it shouldn't be too bad with what people are running because you have to sacrifice things all over the board. You don't get those freebies. I don't know if you guys have looked too much into that, thinking, how's this going to play out?
Nah, I have, yeah, but like, let's take the spawn beacon for instance. No one's going to run a stun grenade over there.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's just nothing to do with COD. Let's get that out of the way. Why would you want? You can't just put something down and make someone spawn there.
Tactical insertion, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, I know that. Oh, you're not having a tactical insertion. You're not having a.
I don't think it's great.
It would be tragic.
It wasn't as bad as it was at the start of the beta, where it was like unlimited respawns until it was destroyed. Like if they limited it to like 4, then it's
you can't place some spawn beacon down to make someone spawn there, gifting them a place to spawn. It just don't make sense.
But if you were to compromise and they changed it a little bit,
no.
I think Trei's very much anti spawn beacon.
Don't get me wrong.
No, but why would you have it in there though?
No, I know. For me, I would
adds
obviously
randomness, which is bad for Call of Duty.
To not have it in. But
I think the biggest issue, Tunn, is you got to remember like just how much decision making goes into a pro's mindset of here's the spawns I now need to push. This because you think about it, right? Spawns actually kind of form like a battle line across the map. You know roughly where those players are going to come from, roughly where you should engage them, and that allows you to make decisions based on that information to best suit your needs of winning the game.
That was a talent though. Like
Yeah.
that was someone's role to do on the map. Like someone
Yeah.
shouldn't just rotate and just put a spawn beacon down and just run away.
know.
That was
I
someone's
know
talent
that.
to make the kills.
I know that, but it's a case of
how
if they put it in.
How does a spawn beacon influence future spawns? Because you know, like if you put someone on the game right now and where spawns come, but if you put down another spawn beacon, the way that those players spawning in could influence future spawns because of that point on the map may mean that spawns end up going chaos spawns. It could mean that you spawn further out, you could spawn further in, and you aren't going to be able to figure out that where you put a spawn beacon every single time because it'll happen like so rarely.
Like, of course it could screw you over, but the majority of the time you're going to be putting it down next to a place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just don't agree with stuff like that being in the game.
Well, I think that's one of the few...
I'm alright for it to be in pubs, put it in pubs, but like for compare standpoint, it definitely shouldn't be in.
Well, I kind of get that, but that's like one of the exceptions, right? Like, but if you think about the rest of the stuff, when I was playing the beta, I didn't think there was a ton of stuff that I would really. And usually when I play, I'm like, I could make a list as long as your arm, right? And we spoke about that at length, and people have tried to make lists miles long. This one, I don't feel too bad about a lot of it. I really don't.
There's still a few things.
Wait, it's tweaking though. I think a lot of it's tweaking. I think this could be the most inclusive rule set we have ever had.
I could think about 10 things right now that I would get out of the game.
I wish I could jump in with this, but I didn't play the beta, so I only played Blackout, and Blackout was fucking great. Thank you, Lord Vondy.
Oh yeah. What's the specialist called with the barbed wire and the barrier?
No, but that's the one I was gonna get out.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue for me. That the barrier with the Guardian in it is like, I mean, you couldn't even
like how it is in Blackout. That fucking the fucking barbed wire in Blackout's lethal, man.
Yes.
Do you imagine being judged by the way? Fucking Irish little twat.
He has got a good point. I'll address his point in this. I suppose we might as well address it now. Jared says, we weren't playing the full game and stuff wasn't unlocked. He is right. Admittedly, that statement does come with a caveat of we haven't seen everything. But and to be fair, like what we haven't seen is what, guns maybe? Guns is probably the ones that we'll have to look at. Yeah. Other than that, I think all the specialists are in, apart from what they're talking about adding specialists later on. So like I said, that's the only thing. I don't think there was a ton left out of the beta compared to how it normally is. There's a few weapons not going to come into it, but I think it's one of those ones where I can still see it, and I still think that's what they'll push for. Like I fully believe that's where it's going. Like we've already bought the 5v5 in line with pubs. It's also going to go that way as well. I think. I may be wrong.
They're going to want to leave everything in. They're going to keep everything the same. That's why I made it 5v5.
I mean, I'm like out of the box competitive.
That's the goal, right? Nobody doesn't want
that. But just make a good game and we'll do it. Just make sure it's all balanced and we'll do it. If it's not balanced, then stuff's getting GA'd. Simple as that. Like, it just has to be a balanced game. Simple as that. Because
I get that.
It isn't balanced. Like, the developers must know what's somewhat stupid. Like, if I was making a game and I put in, I don't even know what's a broken thing. What was broken on the last game?
The fucking FG.
Oh, the FG. Yeah, if I'm sitting there, right, I'm play testing the game with all my colleagues. We're all using the FG. Like, are they all fucking AR players? Like, what, did they really enjoy running around the map with an FG? Like, you could see that if you're playtesting and you see what's broken, what's not really enjoyable to play with. Just tweak it and fix it.
I
don't know why that's such
I can explain that a little bit. Like, I agree with your point. Like, I'm not going to disagree with playtesting ever. Right? But I kind of seeing behind the curtains a little bit from what I understand, it does take a while because it's not just competitive they're tweaking it for, are they? Which is why, again, they want to move it to out of the box competitive and as close as possible because it becomes more correlated and it's easy to make these changes. But they get 20 million people's information come in, and whereas you guys are super accurate and super efficient with some guns, because let's face it, you guys don't miss very much and you play better with it. The same gun in a position of just the casual player, it doesn't seem overpowered at all. It's just
it's like the M1 Grand though last year. Like, my nan could have picked up the pad and killed someone. Like, that shouldn't be happening. If the game's somewhat skillful, my nan should not be able to pick up a controller and 2-bullet someone with an M1 Grand. Like, why are we saying this is OP? We want it gone, but they're like, oh no, but according to our stats and lists, it's not OP because not even 1% of the players use it. Look, we're telling you it's OP and we don't want to use it in competitive.
Yeah, but that's
You
what
just
that's what I'm
ban it.
saying, right? Is it's a different gun for you in there. Like you got to remember that you have the. Don't get me wrong. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I get what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like
No, but like no,
someone
but
who picks it
no,
up, they're not going to hit. They're not going to hit the same.
no,
thing.
but they should get what we're saying.
Oh no, like I said, like I said, I'm on your guys.
If
I'm
we
just
when
playing
it comes
devil's
to
advocate here.
competitive, that's fine. Like what? For the half the year, they changed competitive rules, and I couldn't even warm up with a sub. Because if you used armored in private match, like when you're warming up in a free for all, you have no recall and FMJ built in. Like, well, I don't really want to run around with like no recall shooting people like warming up. It just makes no sense. Like, if you want it out the box, like make sure stuff like that isn't an issue.
No, and the
But again,
airborne
that's what they're
thing.
moving towards, right?
And the airborne thing, yeah.
They made everyone stop running airborne, like half the year. So you had to run armored because it was built in gung ho, and then it got changed like a month and a half after or something like that.
The game last year was just shit. I'm sorry, it was. I fucking hated it.
It had its problems. Though,
The
didn't it?
game was awful, man, straight up, and I'm so thankful Lord Von D is back. I'll keep on saying it every week.
All right, let's take that opportunity to move on.
I was going to touch on something.
Oh no, go on,
quickly.
Tom.
Did you think? I know you didn't play any of the beta, Reedy, but did you think anything apart from the ABR was overpowered? Because I thought the majority of the weapons were actually what we actually used. Were actually alright.
Listen, I'm a sub player now, Tunn. I didn't touch an AR.
I know, but like you surely like realize though, like.
Nah, I'm the best player in the game, and I didn't get killed by any other gun than a sub.
So you think subs are overpowered?
No.
I mean, from Blackout, all the guns were like decent. Like you could pick up whatever gun you wanted.
No, the ICR was dreadful. Let's not get it twisted.
Actually, I like the
Oh,
ICR.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do now. Let's actually move on to Blackout because I want to talk about it. We didn't talk about it last week.
Oh, it was so good.
It may be the biggest change to Call of Duty in so many ways. Now, there were rumors that for Blackout events they have been talking to the CWL. You guys obviously have probably loved that game. I know I love that game. I couldn't stop playing it. Are you worried about how it's going to affect your upcoming season? Are you worried about playing a Blackout event?
No.
If you do play a Black event, which player are you going to drop? Like, because it might be an opportunity where you can do both. Have you considered that?
You never know. They might move it to fives on Blackout. You never know.
I don't. Blackout is going to be a fun game mode where they're going to get people involved, and it's gonna. I have a feeling it's gonna tie in with the CWL at events. I feel like they're gonna try and integrate it so it helps the CWL grow. And I don't feel like there'll be much. If there's like throw money into it, I don't think there'll be much to do on console with it. I think it'll be mainly PC because of all the big PC streamers and VR players that are on PC. So
I wouldn't surprise me to do both, honestly.
it doesn't affect. I don't feel like it will affect the CWL in any way. I think they'll try and help it out because if you look at it that way, then they've been thinking about doing 5v5 for the longest of times. That's why they changed it to pubs 5v5, and
yeah,
they wouldn't have done that without doing that. So
I think ultimately they're going to use Blackout as you said as a marketing tool for the CWL where they can. Obviously they'll try and push it in, but it's still that aspect of a BR game where there is some RNG to it.
My dad and see what he thinks.
That's why we can't necessarily have that as full on esports, so to speak. You just do. I think if they just did the same as what Fortnite have been doing, like doing showcases and stuff like that.
I don't know. I disagree with most of what you guys are saying. I think just the impact that had during the beta and how many people really loved it. We already know like of a dozen people wanting to hold tournaments for it. And let's face it here, if it goes anything like Fortnite or PUBG, the prize money will be there. And as you pros yourself,
they'll throw money at it.
Yeah, but if the money's there, like if they start putting up big prize pools and stuff, are you seriously telling me you're not going to go, I wonder if I can play that Blackout game? I wonder if my team can get in on that Blackout game?
Oh no, of course. But the thing is, like, Battle Royale competitive is completely different to just playing it normally, like how we was in the beta.
I feel like if someone come on COD and you gave them the option to be in a CWL or play Blackout Pro, I'd say they'd take the CWL over anything.
Okay.
I feel like if you gave them that option, they'd probably play in the league.
Yeah, I think that's like. I mean, obviously that's like the best players, right? That's what
anyone that plays COD and not wants to take it as a career, but could take it a career if they could, and sees a CWL, they're gonna try and get into the CWL.
I mean, I'm
you
pretty
can make more if say it blows up, you probably make more money playing Blackout.
Well,
be
see, here's
honest.
the thing for me. It's not even that. Like, I don't.
No,
I
but
don't think it's that.
streaming, that's funner
Yeah.
to watch. It's Blackout is amazing.
Yeah.
The only downfall to competitive battle royale games is fucking can be
random.
boring to watch and random. Way
Yeah.
too many variables into it. Like it's just like, oh right, landed. I got a gun here. I landed. I got nothing. Right, sweet. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah, the CDBL
But that's
is
the
legitimately a fair battleground, isn't it? Like
fair
everybody's
battleground,
got
100%.
access to everything.
But just battle royale, like it's just fun to watch. You
Yeah.
actually probably could make more money doing that. But
But
then
again, this is the big issue. Like we're talking about Blackout, like it's not going to be a big phenomenon. I genuinely think it's going to be huge. And
No,
you've
I
also
think it's
got to
gonna be
remember, like
massive.
I agree with Trey, right? I think the crown jewel, the big players, the best players for Call of Duty in the world are in the CWL. That is period. That's what it is. It is the best Call of Duty players in the world are in the CWL.
Yeah, but if you looked at it, if they just chuck loads of money at that, then the CW won't be a thing because all the COD players just absolutely go into battle royale and just destroy everyone.
Well, again, that's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. Like, I really kind of want to see like a big pro Blackout several times. I think it'd be great to watch. You guys would figure it out. I would love to see that as one of the game modes. I don't know how they would do it. It would be fantastic.
Well,
Best
That's
of
what I
five
said.
figure it out
I
myself.
said I think they'll try and integrate it both, like say at an MLG event or even just do like loads of online tournaments for it.
Well, if you've
Yeah.
got 16 pro teams, 5 players a team, it's not like 100.
I genuinely don't think they'll make us play it. They won't make us play it. We're not.
Not just a show match.
Oh,
sort
well,
of
they-
thing?
I don't think they'll make it.
We're not big
No,
enough.
no, it's definitely not going to make. They're not going to make the pros play. 100% not. It's more than not the pros
Yeah.
have the opportunity to, which they might not. You don't know. It might be, no, you have to play in the CWL. No, you can't play the Blackout tournaments, depending on whether a show match or an official thing. You are right when you said it may be mainly PC, which you guys are great on console, but some of you are great on PC, and we've seen that. But you may not transfer over. Like,
But hear me out. You're telling me you wouldn't love to see Optic's new team drop in, whatever that's going to be, Red drop in, and all just drop into one map. Do you not tell me that would be interesting to watch in the show?
Yeah,
that's
you're just not going to pull the viewers that fucking Ninja's going to pull if they host an online tournament,
yeah,
and that's what they're going to want.
It is still
Like if you looked at like a pro when Blackout was out, all the pros are streaming it. Yeah, all the pros are literally going off. Some pros are dropping like 20 kills plus. Some people are like throwing clips out like a madness because we're really good at COD, and yet I'm seeing some people not even get over 10 viewers that were doing it. Like,
yeah. But I mean, again, that's part of that, right? Is the fact that the content for Call of Duty dropped off massively. All pros basically stopped streaming a lot of the time. Very little content come out. And here's a genuine belief I have: if you're good enough, if you are one of the best players in the world, people will eventually start watching you. It's like you said, those clips started going on. People are like, oh, this is actually really, really good. You know, you saw some of the streamers come.
That's what happened with Havoc on Black Ops 3, innit?
Yeah.
Like he was pretty unknown, and he started hitting some mental stuff, and then his clips started circulating Twitter and stuff, and then more and more people started tuning into his streams.
Yeah. You can't deny talent.
Can we talk about Damon being the best on console and being the best on PC at the same time as well? Like,
I don't think it was the best on PC,
but still, like, no, he was still doing really, really well. Like, he was playing with PC players.
yeah, but that's just because he's one of those guys that can hop on anything and just do well on it.
Yeah, you can say that about like James or like Reese. In fact, Judge shit. Judd's really bad with a mouse, man. It's actually tragic.
What?
You should see him No, you should see him trying to play Overwatch. It's actually bad crack.
Jeez.
But like Reese is good at, but like PC games, Dom, like they can. I would say if Reese was playing, he'd probably be just as good as Damon.
I imagine we'll see Big Swan make an impact on console Blackout.
Nah, he loves Fortnite. He's lost.
He's still really?
Nah, he hasn't played Fortnite in like a month.
Come on, man. Why are you giving him credit? He loves Fortnite.
Mate,
He does.
Mate,
Wait, he loves FIFA now. We're the pro clubs duo.
All right, let's talk about what we did like and didn't like in Blackout then, because it was the beta. There are a few things I know. I put out a list myself. Let's talk a little bit about the obvious one, which is Armor 3. How do they fix the armor situation?
It doesn't belong in COD, get out.
Well, we're talking
That's not
just
happening.
Blackout here.
Yeah, it doesn't belong in COD, get out.
It's not gonna happen though, is it?
Just if they want
I'd say take level 3 out, make armor 1 like so you get it from like off the floor, and then I'd say like put armor 2 in crates or something like that.
There it is. That's how you fix it.
I don't
And
think.
but I would want to pick up more than one armor. I'm not gonna lie,
I
my
would
bad.
like the ability to repair level 1 armor, or like if you could take some off a dead body and kind of put it back on.
You
And
can if it's a little bit damaged. Sometimes if you headshot.
Yeah, but what I'm
people,
saying is like if yours breaks, you usually end up breaking the other person's, right?
Oh yeah,
'Cause it's
9
difficult to
times
not
out of
break
10.
you.
most of the time.
What I would like is if you could like pick up similar H1Z1 where they have the armor scraps, right? Like you can at least put something back on to give you at least a semi-level playing field going into the late game.
Yeah.
And honestly, the best thing I saw for it was they're saying, yeah, level 1s are fairly common. Level 2s I would have very rare.
Super rare. Like
yeah.
drops and stuff.
I don't know, because I think you can still have level 3 in the game, because level 3 has the trait where it also covers the head.
Yeah, let's get it out.
So like you can
That's
have
the problem
2,
for me.
no upgrade in actual health, and 3 just has the head cover as well, but it's the same health as 2.
Everyone was
That's
saying the same thing though. Like level 3 armor shouldn't be there.
Oh, it is a nightmare. to
Like,
cover.
even when they made it weak, yeah, even when they made it worse, it was still impossible to
It
take
was
off.
very, very powerful, I will say.
I love the clip of Dr. Disrespect getting turned on because of it. Made me so happy.
I think it was,
Thank you, Lord Bundy, for that moment.
There was a clip of Shroud, and he was fighting 3 people, and he must have put 2 or 3 clips into all of them. It was still ticking armor. It was like, I just think it's too readily available. I think they just need to tone down how much. Like, don't get me wrong, I would love to see level 3 armor.
I think it was
gone,
the
but it's not
the
gonna
most
happen, is it?
called out thing I heard during the entire
100%.
beta.
I think
Level
other
It's
than
because
that,
everything else was quite balanced.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was
That's a
fine.
great sign though, when you feel like the only issue people had with the fucking game was level 3 armor, which is easily fixable. Like, the guns were balanced.
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually
Although I do feel like the map needs changing. Raid does not belong up there.
yeah,
want it
get
close to the
Raid
middle?
in the middle. Get Raid.
Yeah, get Raid somewhere where everyone's gonna go to it. Raid is an iconic map.
Yeah, I dropped
Even
Raid.
Stronghold, man. Like well, but all the estates, the whole estates needs
I
to be.
feel like Nuketown as well. That needs to that
They're
island.
both up there, aren't they?
That island, that Nuketown island, yeah, it's just out the way. Like people land there, yeah, but like
You only land
Nuketown-
if you get the drops. Like
yeah,
the planes drop straight over.
Nuketown is literally just not even. It's not even a quarter of it. Yeah, it's not even. It's literally just one little section. The whole island is bigger than Nuketown. Like, makes no sense.
I would like to see like maybe another island stuck in, because I found the boats basically useless most of the time. Like I very rarely
It's too
use
easy
them
to
unless
shot
I
out
was.
of them.
Yeah. You're basically asking just to be killed. It didn't seem like it was something that I really ever gravitated towards. So that's the major one, right?
Oh, and the circle.
Yeah, the
That's
circle.
all-
That circle was that circle loved the desert,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that
too
desert
much,
is
too
fucking
much.
shocking. You'd go to the desert, you couldn't see anyone, and then you'd get sniped. And you think, all right, nice one,
I
go into a
saw-
new game. You'd end up in the desert again. The same thing would fucking happen to you. It's
I
pointless.
genuinely
there wasn't-
saw a team, one of those wind turbines, and they'd put the barrier with the guardian in the doorway and just hid in there. I was like, this is ridiculous.
I saw people land the
Land
helicopter on top of the turbine.
Yeah, Swan was one of them because he couldn't win solos. He had to literally constantly duo with Matt Trei and that to get win. Swan was he was bad crack at that fucking Blackout as well. I'll tell you that. Whoa.
Oh my god. I might have to get him on just to see what he says about it.
He's in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, you know, Reedy. You know he's
Yeah.
in the chat, mate. Don't give me that. Let's talk about the other 2 things, and they basically come under the same sort of thing. Healing and being dropped and reviving. Now, some people said healing was a little bit too fast, especially like trauma kit. You could bang on at the same time as the first aid, more or less.
No, trauma kit took ages.
Not that long, mate. To be fair,
Yeah,
wasn't like-
it took double of a first aid.
I still don't know if it was long enough. Like that's amazing.
I mean, the trauma kit didn't really do much. I just gave you extra 50. I felt like even when I had a trauma kit on with a level 2 armor, if I had level 2 armor and 200, and a guy had a level 3 armor, I would still get dusted.
But
Yeah.
still, it still gives you the point of where even if you take it,
I feel like the reviving's quick though.
yeah.
It is quick, right?
You
That's-
need to like, you see when you go down, just give me 2 seconds to like.
Oh, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
other part of it. That's the other part of it.
Give me 2 seconds to regain and not die because I was just getting sprayed, just dying instantly.
Yeah, something else Swanee would do. Tragic player.
But no, I think that was mentioned a lot as well. It's like if you go down, everybody's finishing you because it doesn't. You don't have to wait nothing. You just 2 extra bullets and you're done. So I think I'm
Yeah.
hoping they put that in there because that's in every other major BR. And someone said the other day that I shouldn't be comparing it to other BRs. I was like, no, that's 100% what I should be comparing it to.
I feel like they could have done something more with the menu though.
Well, because when it came out on PC, apparently PCs, I didn't get a chance to play it because I was busy. But apparently it's much better.
Well, that's always going to be the case with PC because you have a mouse and cursor and it's
Yeah.
like easy just to drag things and click things. But I feel like they could have made the interface a bit better. Like I'm sitting there trying to go for a bag and it's not moving for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I end up picking up an ACOG sight, put it on my submachine gun, and I don't want that.
The only thing I felt sad about Blackout is like when I had a normal PlayStation, that shit was not fun. But as soon as I got a Pro, that shit was so fun.
I was still playing on normal. I found it good, but everyone seems to be thinking, I'm getting.
Yeah, but
I'm
then you
getting
but then you need to play it on a Pro.
Yeah,
My
you
internet
fully
was bad
you
either way,
fully-
so.
Yeah, it's just pretty much convinced me to get one.
Your aircraft's bad as well.
Wow. All right, mate. Good luck with the team next year. Is there anything else that Blackout that you may not have liked or something you really did like kind of going forward? I thought the zombie areas of the map were great. It kind of gave you an extra objective to go to.
I thought it was shite, and that's just because they're annoying.
You do realize,
I mean,
you
I
realize
got-
how
I
the
got
zombies
re-
work, though, right?
Yeah, I got pretty excited when I got.
Yeah, I
all
know how they work, didn't it? But
Well-
like, it was just annoying. And then someone killed me with a ray gun, and I lost full.
But I only gave you 20 shots with it. It's not. It wasn't as
Yeah, and they
overpowered as I
killed
thought
him
it would be.
too.
Yeah, but
Hey, it's a power weapon.
I don't care.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody at the end of the game like I'm
No.
going to 1v1 and somebody have it though. I don't know if it's just.
I don't know why I'm complaining so much. I didn't really lose that much, but it was just
Oh,
annoying.
you do.
Did you ever fight the Blight Father?
The what?
No, I didn't. Nope.
What, guys?
Did you ever go to the graveyard and fight the
was
zombie
like the
monster?
last
Like I
Yeah,
said, Bryce, I stayed away from that place.
I killed zombies, but I didn't. What was there, like a zombie boss or something?
Yeah, mate, it
Yeah.
was insane. Because I saw it that when as soon as they patched it in, they flew there straight away, and I ran out of ammo like twice.
Yeah.
It was one of the toughest things. And then the problem is you're fighting it for so long, everybody comes, everybody and their dog turns up. And I mean the loot you get from it is okay. You get like
level 3 and stuff.
level 3s.
By the time you've done that, though, you've not got a gun.
Fully kitted paladins. But you're right. Like the amount of stuff you have to use to get it done. Like you'll burn through all your med kits and everything else, and then you got to fight off other teams. I'm not sure if it'll be in the full game. Part of me is like, I like that part of it though. I like the fact that, like if you killed all the zombies in an area, you would get the box, and that would be like something you could do to kind of boost your loot a little bit. Let's kind of move on though and talk about either, and I'll give you the option here, Tunn. We can either talk about the way loot was distributed, or we can talk about snipers and stuff. Because I thought sniping was actually quite satisfying on that game.
I think there was nothing wrong with sniping, so I think I should talk about the loot because I think for me there was too many ammo types. Like I just thought it was unnecessary, to be honest with you. I mean, I understand.
But you haven't really played PUBG though, have you?
No,
That, for me, was very normal in PUBG.
Yeah.
Now, PUBG had such a more significant drop, though. Like,
Yeah.
that sniping was actually, like, it felt like COD sniping, which is good. There was like, for us... It was annoying, like, playing it and not knowing, like, if there was a drop or not, so I'd, like, shoot in front of people, because I would just be assumed there was a drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my main issue with it. Like, do you remember, Trey? I asked you a few times, like, how the fuck do you snipe on this? I think I'm a good sniper. And then I was like, I kept on missing easy shots, but I'd hit the worldies, and it made no sense.
Yeah,
I was actually really good at sniping on there. Like, once I found out that there were, like, the drop was, like, so minimal, like, I was just I'd hit most people, and I used an iron sight sniper as well.
Bullet travel was my biggest issue with it. Like, I couldn't.
I hated the paladin sniper, though.
Did you prefer the Koshka? Because I like the
Yeah,
Koshka.
I would always choose the Koshka iron sights over a fully decked out paladin.
Oh really? I
Yeah.
don't know. I like the Koshka. For some reason, I found it really easy to hit shots with a Koshka 3 times.
I have
That was
like
a gun I like.
I have like 20 clips saved on my PC with like Koshka clips and stuff like that. I just haven't got time to upload them and stuff like that because I can't be bothered.
What about the DMR?
That was fun.
That was good.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was only good close range though.
I mean, did you just say you don't like that gun?
Mm.
Well, you didn't
Why
like
not?
it was too powerful, or you just didn't like it?
I didn't like it, man. It was fucking like I played Armor 2 DayZ mod, didn't it? So I like when there was a DMR in that game.
Yeah.
That was the shit, man. Like so, I picked up the DMR in this game. I see it's a DMR. I got really excited, started shooting. I was like, what the fuck is this? Just sounded so like, I don't even know. It wasn't. I don't know. I had a silencer on it, so it just sounded horrible. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
take
fair
it off.
Is there any other guns you would change? I know a lot of people said the Titan was monstrous. I quite liked it when you were fully kitted with it.
The Titan was good.
Yeah, the Titan was good.
The Vapor was clearly the best AR.
I liked all the guns. The only gun that I fucking hated picking up was a Spitfire without any attachments. That stressed me out a lot.
Mate, I had a Spitfire come against a guy at level 3. I think I hit 3 shots and just ran away.
Yeah.
Like, you just spray everywhere.
That was
mate.
the only gun I didn't really like using when it wasn't kitted out, but everything else was fucking brilliant, and we love you, Fondy.
The Soul was good. That was the other.
I
Was there
thought there
another
were maybe
SMG?
two.
Is that
I think there was a
those two?
Maddox. It's technically
Maddox
an
is an
SMG.
AR.
It's basically like a shortened Vapor, from what I could see.
What was that? The gun that began with C that had like 65 bullets in the chamber.
Oh,
Was
Cordite.
it
Cordite.
Yeah, the Cordite. I enjoyed using that gun. That gun was fun.
I feel like the subs though. The subs are literally like a gun that you pick up at the start.
It's the same
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
That was my only issue with it. Like
You land construction, get a sub, and just fucking rattle
was-
everyone,
there
and
was
then
no,
you get straight
like,
away.
there was no advantage to having a sub close range against like a Vapor or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically like. Either
I don't know. I
running-
don't know if that's just Blackout though, or that will actually be like that in.
Well, that's the other
Real
thing.
game.
Like Blackout said it has bullet travel time, which I believe in the real game isn't the same.
Nah, I don't think it
It
is.
was just snipers that were
But it was just annoying that, like, you could have a sub and you'd
Yeah.
still get beat by a Vapor up close, but.
Again,
Again,
it
sub
was,
then, I
it was
guess.
so- to be fair, I'm just quite glad there were other guns on the Rampart, which I found everywhere and hated. Hated the
The Rampart was actually shit. Now we're talking about that gun. Holy fuck!
Like, just the recoil would just blow. I'd be like, I can't hit
I
anything.
generally take a pistol over that shite.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
There I am running the KN thing, and this is like an AK. It should kick, and it's like a laser. Get the Rampart,
KN
and
was
like, well, this is
beast.
the worst gun ever.
KM was
Um,
good because it was a different ammo type to like the ICR and the Vapor and stuff, so you could run that and then the ICR.
The AK was actually sick.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of come down. Like I said, I don't mind it. It kind of makes sense the way BRs play out that subs aren't as powerful late game because you aren't trying to get close to somebody, especially when the fact if you go down, you are done. Like because people will end you straight away. So longer range gunfights at least give you a chance to cover. The one other thing I think people were pointing out: sound.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
stressful.
I
People were
mean,
saying,
yeah.
like
I'm a
gunfires-
massive sounder in COD, so like, I'd always tell where it is.
It seemed further away at closer.
But like
than it was, right?
yeah, what I'm trying to like in like normal like COD, I was really good at sound tour, but this one I'd be like, oh, it's dead close to us, and it'd be like over a hill.
I think
And
it
then
was the
by the
fact
time
that
you get there, everyone's dead.
the fact that you could like hear your teammates too loud as well. I think that was an issue, but they have said they're working on it as well. Though,
I don't
so-
mind that though. Use your minimap.
No, I know that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the direction on it was never that great. So
I suppose.
I
'Cause
feel like the direction was fine though.
we all probably play Blackout the same way, right? And that's aggressive as hell. Like if you hear a gunfight, you're going at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it just
'cause
felt,
I'm not,
so it
wasn't
felt
it?
like
Yeah.
it was just over a hill, but it was like a good
yeah,
2-click helicopter journey away.
That's
That's
why.
what
That's
stressed me
that's
out
probably
about
why
it.
we all like Blackout so much because we felt like we could just run into a gunfight and just
Yeah.
win it regardless because we're really good. But
And again, I think the same thing I saw from pros is they all preferred the quicker collapsing circle.
Yeah,
Like,
that
that
fast
sort
collapse
of
game.
Nah.
was fun.
that was fun, yeah. But that was stressful when you was on the outside of it.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Like,
it
we-
very much
like-
was.
We ended up going back to the normal one because it was too stressful to deal with.
It's because you was playing with Swan and he's a fucking slug, mate. So he was probably sitting around a Nuketown Island for a good
It was
half
actually
hour.
it was actually Swan that wanted to leave it.
Shocked! Am I shocked?
Nah, it was stressful though. It was stressful.
Fortunately, I think Blackout had a lot of vehicles in, and they did the vehicles well, in my opinion. I was so terrified of seeing vehicles in that game, but I actually went, you know what? Every one of these vehicles I'm perfectly happy with. I'm not really ever going to get in a boat very often. The helicopter certainly wasn't overpowered. I had great fun flying it. The truck was useful because it at least gave you some cover. And you know the ATVs were fun. Like I think the way they did vehicles was superb.
The one. I just read the chat with Swan.
Yeah.
One annoying thing was when you were in a heli and you saw people and you jumped out of it, your teammates took damage.
I would like.
Like Swan was actually raging, like, because I was flying the heli and then
Yeah.
he'd jump out and he died, and when you die in air you insta die because you're just
Yeah.
gonna die from the fall anyway.
Same underwater as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I don't know. Do I like that? I mean, I understand from the air perspective that you're gonna die instantly when you fall down. I
don't
feel
know.
like that. I feel like that gives like the the team that shot him out the plane, if he like falls down and can be revived, I feel like that gives him a chance to kill the other team as well, because they're going to try and get their teammate up.
Well, I would like to see like a little bit. I think helicopters maybe a little bit underpowered. Their best thing was speed, but like with the rocket launchers that spread around the map, I'll be honest with you though, didn't see very many of them. They weren't really used that much.
I actually took one down. It's hilarious.
Do you think there's, I mean, with the full release, a larger range of guns would be a good thing, or it would be a bad thing? Because already like there's a lot of kind of process with the amount of guns running around.
I think there's enough.
Yeah, I like it should
I
be.
think there's enough.
Well, there'll be more anyway when the
Yeah,
game's
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
There should probably be more.
Did they not
got
say it was
bored picking
everything
up
in
the
there,
cinema.
or
I don't think so.
because was the Maddox in the bear?
Yeah. No.
So there you go.
No, I don't think so. But that's surely not all the guns in the game.
Well so
There
There was like.
I've not seen
No,
any
there's quite a
full
few.
gun list rumors come
Let's
out.
have
To
a
be
look.
fair.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
that
like
surely wasn't-
they need to like, especially for Blackout, like have like rotations of
Yeah,
different
keep
guns
it
from different
fresh.
games, man. Like they can't. There's no way. The game's brilliant, love it to pieces, but there's no way it's not going to be stale after 2 months, unless they keep updating it.
I'd
and
say
bringing out
probably
new
even
weapons.
sooner.
Probably, yeah. They need to like new places of interest, like chuck in an old map somewhere. But then again,
Yeah.
I don't know how easy that is to do. Like,
Like on Fortnite, because it's an early access game, like still early access, they can just put out an update straight away.
because
Yeah.
I'm guessing
That-
Blackout's going to be like, I don't think that. So we fast forward a year, and whoever's doing the next game, I don't think they're going to bring out a battle royale. I feel like Blackout would stay next battle royale for COD for the next couple years. I'm feeling like, right?
Well, it makes sense. Like, because there's not
Yeah.
as
To be
big a
honest,
crossover.
to
You
be
don't, yeah, you don't
yeah,
really
And we
release
don't get we don't get theatre mode in
about-
COD.
yeah, you don't release.
I
a
feel like it
Blackout
makes sense for the other COD to do battle royale though.
They'll
Right.
want to do
Well,
their own.
they all adopted zombies after a while, didn't they?
Yeah,
That was all made
The thing
away.
is, if it's
Nah, I
if
feel like it
it's-
makes sense in it just because they make more money off of it.
if it's successful, there's no way they don't make a new one. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
but then there's the issue with it being shit.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Blackout's
I
up
know.
here for me. Like the next game, even if it's literally here, then it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, you can go play back out again. There's nothing to stop it. Because to be honest,
Yeah, but
what?
what? Yeah, but what? Like we compete in it. Why do you want to go back to an old game? And
No, that's
Well, yeah,
true.
but I think that's just you got to remember that that's a very small subset of.
no,
players.
I know. I'm just saying, innit? Like, why would we go back to the old game to play that? Like, if they're gonna bring out a BR on COD, at least make it on par or better.
Yeah, but maybe they keep the BR for several years. Maybe that's that. You know,
He said he
Blackout,
wants to
Blackout,
run
they
it
keep
for years.
updating Black Ops.
Yeah, I hope they keep on updating Black. I mean, they done it to Black Ops 3, man. Like I went on it the other day and the VMP was absolutely gashed. I was mind blown. I was like, what the hell's going on?
I have
This
deleted.
generation
I've
should be-
deleted every COD off my PlayStation. I refuse to play COD in the off season. I don't know if you see my tweet. I'm now a retired COD player until Black Ops 4.
Yeah, if Blackout was that, you'd still be playing it.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, 100%. I love Blackout.
I do wonder how. I mean, it shouldn't do right, but like whether or not people just kind of dip into that if they can't get a scrim, like just dip in a Blackout for a game or two.
Oh,
If
well,
no
I
one
don't-
get it, the chances are of anyone not getting a scrim next year are looking. That shouldn't be the case.
Just
there's
to-
so
Shouldn't be the
much-
case.
No, there's so much to play. Like teams that even don't make the league, should still be playing because I have a feeling, that the people that aren't in the pro league are still gonna be playing for at least. I still feel they're gonna be playing for at least 75 to 100 grand at the open events.
Yeah.
Like their own open events.
75.
I still think so. Yeah. Why would they not?
I don't
I think it's still quite a high price pool.
I mean, if it's anything less than 50, what's the benefit
I
for the
think it'd be 50.
EU teams to go over there and Australian teams?
This
Yeah,
is what I was
I think
speaking
so.
like, because we've spoke about this. Yeah, me and Matt were saying, we were like, it's at least got to be 75 minimum for anyone to even have an interest in it.
So
no,
maybe
it's
that's a
a
bit
big
high.
breakdown be?
Maybe that because like from the view of a pro player, I could see it, but like that sounds high to me for an AM.
Because
tournament.
they won't
Like,
want to make it too high to the point where you're making more as an AM team than you are as a pro league team.
Yeah, the best AM team. You know, that's the other issue, right? That's actually the main issue. Tunn's just hit on there. Is it's
Yeah, but then
not-
there's no point in competing.
it's still competing. Like you want to get up for next year.
Nah, but what's the point? If it's anything less than 50, what's the point?
Well, I think they
I
can
can't-
turn
I
around
can't
and
take- I
No,
can't
no,
agree
no,
with you there,
no,
Tunn.
no org from Europe's gonna attend for less than 50.
I
But
don't
the
I
know.
thing
mean,
is-
I'll go out there for a bag of chips to prove my worth again, if that
Well,
was
it's
the
that,
case.
isn't it?
No, but you know what I mean, though, Jordan.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, but like with COD players, like we feel very self-entitled to a lot of things that we don't actually deserve.
Oh,
I'll be
obviously.
completely honest with you on that. Like, remember the
I just
Americans on Black
I
Ops
honestly
3 crying about our prize pool for Europe being a little bit less
cannot
than
see
theirs.
an
Like,
AM event being over 50
shut up,
grand.
man.
No.
Just ever.
I thought it'd be in between 30 and 50. Because the thing is
I
that,
just think if it's I just think if it's anything less than 50, it's pointless.
But the
Yeah,
thing
but
is
that's from a
for them
pro
is,
player's point of view.
I think that half the reason they've done it is because they want to support the teams that are in the amateur league. Because obviously, when you were outside of it, outside the pro league, you didn't really have anything. But they're gonna have their own stream and everything as well. So it's basically making teams.
Basically, what you're going to be casting next
exactly.
year, Tom. Hey!
So basically,
Wait, no, Tunn's only supporting this because he's got a job next year. I'm fuming.
I should have a job anyway. It should be alright.
I'm trying to give some good points, and Tunn's just absolutely throwing him out the window.
No, but listen, but the thing is that they're gonna have their own stream, so what it makes them more marketable at orgs and stuff like that, doesn't it not?
Who really gives a shit, man? Honestly, who actually, like, you say the word, I can't speak English right now, but who's really going to tune into the fucking amateur Call of Duty League stream and be a big sponsor and be like, I want to sponsor this AM team? No, they'll just go onto the mainstream.
Mate, orgs
Who scored?
nowadays,
Fuck off, man.
orgs aren't even happy about getting like, they're not even gonna get the fucking, what is it, like, credibility for just playing against a top team, or like, oh, we played Optic, we played these. Like, you haven't played no one.
I think the difference is, the way I see it, is that amateur stuff, it is the feeder league. It is where you're gonna find the next talents, unless they're big talents to come straight in.
Fucking
Like,
rebound merchant.
You're gonna see some players come up through it. You're gonna see.
No,
some players...
sorry, I'm fucking talking about Daniel Sturridge scoring a rebound
Oh,
goal.
Jesus.
Fucking scumbag, shit cunt.
I was gonna say, it didn't really make a lot of sense with what I was talking about.
Wait,
I
you think
think-
people are gonna come up from that amateur circuit from winning there?
I think players it'll be a great scouting area. I think the goal of what they're doing is, so here's the difference between reality and the goal, which we don't know yet. Let's be perfectly honest, we don't know how exactly it's all going to go down. But I think the way they want it to work is, you play in the AM leagues. If you do well in the AM leagues, the top teams will see you and they will pick you up as their sub, or you get straight into a top squad.
I
That's
see it as a
really
sub though. You're not gonna get used unless there's an emergency.
But that's the realism of it. Like, that's just how it is. Like,
Do we know
it's-
how subs are working? Is it literally they are there just in case of emergency, or you can use them when you want? Or do you
No,
not
no
know?
pro player's going to sit out.
Well, no, I know.
No. Well, yeah, no idea. No, I have no idea. But I'm.
Like I
I'm
said, I assume if it's like an
If
emergency.
Swan was
then-
on my team, the sub would be on fucking standby for the S&Ds. Tell you that for free, man. He'll be sitting right out for the
Well,
S&Ds.
there's things like that, isn't there? Like where players aren't that great at S&D and don't want to.
Yeah, but we already had this conversation. Like, we said, yeah, what about, yeah, if you're subbing out, let's just say, yeah, I'm getting subbed out for an S&D. I'm gonna be fucking livid with my team that I'm getting subbed out.
I know, but
Wait, no, you are though,
No,
aren't
but
you?
Yeah,
Swan
well, of
would,
course you
Swan,
are.
like, no, but if you look at players like Swan, yeah, he would be fine with it. Because he knows he's trash, you know?
No, but really, say if you were getting subbed out for a hard point, you'd be fuming, right?
No, because sometimes I'm shit at hard points. So I'll
No,
just
but
get
you'd
subbed
still be
because I'm shit.
fuming.
Well, yeah,
Depends what map it was.
Like,
If it was
no,
a map I was
no,
like-
No, it doesn't matter if it's shit at hard point or not. You'd still be angry that you're not playing that.
yeah, no, but then the organisation will turn around and
But
say,
it-
we're doing it for the benefit
Ah,
of us.
I'm getting paid. If I'm still getting paid and my team think it's better shot at winning, I'll be disappointed and angry. But if we get the dub because they subbed in, not Swan, let's say, he would have got dropped by then anyway. He would have performed well anyway.
Well, apparently it's
Hey Brice, yeah, Brice came in and played for me in the hard point, and they won the hard point, and I'll come back in for the. I'd be happy. We won.
I love you, but I feel like Swan may be the better COD player in every scenario. I think because they're saying talk about subs, maybe the entire best of 5 series, which means they really won't get any playtime.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying.
They most likely won't, but yeah.
Yeah. But
Again,
again,
I
this thing,
feel like the chances of someone getting picked up from the AM circuit
yeah.
to then being a sub to then playing with that team is going to be literally so slim, yeah, to the point where they're going to have to.
But that's how it should.
I don't want to be
be.
mean,
That-
yeah,
that-
but I don't want to be mean, but hope the pro player that's actually playing for that team has an emergency.
I mean, that's kind of how it works in normal sports, right? Like, it's not always going to be an easy route.
I mean,
to
it's
the top.
how it is in Overwatch, you know. Like they literally sub players in
Yeah.
like and out before series and that, and it happens in League of Legends. If someone's having a off few weeks and the season is X amount long,
Yeah, if they're not practicing or whatever, like if you aren't able to get
if
practice
it's
on the run up with a certain player,
if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And
Yeah,
I
but then
feel
how are
like
you gonna like incorporate that sub into scrims and
they
yeah,
scrim
it's
at
a
home.
scrims, man.
But we don't.
Huh?
Like, you telling me if you didn't have a spare player, like you must have had played times when like a player's been busy or something, so you've just knocked an entire scrim session on the head because you can't get your fort on.
But then, does it not upset your practice with the other team and they play differently? It's
Well, you
then
guys
it's
should
worth-
put. I mean,
No, but
again,
like-
this.
no,
this
but like you're gonna play with that. Let's just say you're gonna play with that sub once. Yeah, once. That let's just say you play with that sub once for that whole thing.
are
It's
you
literally gonna be.
Trey, you see in League of Legends, yeah, you can
Yeah.
have like the best ADC in the world, and he starts having like he starts declining for a couple of weeks. They'll practice with their sub and go to the LCS and play with the sub until the guy's like, right, like, he's back on form. People see that he's trying again. They'll bring him back in, and then it will just be hunky dory again. Like
Yeah,
stuff
but we
like
don't have that time though.
I mean, we're at the league for seven or should we? It's like 12 weeks,
12.
aren't we? Yeah, it's 12 weeks. It's a
Yeah,
long
but
time.
does the sub come out with you? Does he come and chill with you?
He must
He
come
might.
out.
That's what I'm
he-
saying.
he
Like,
kinda has to.
like, does he stay there for 12 weeks?
I mean, he would be fucking bored out of
That's
his
what I'm
mind.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Does he come out with 12 weeks and then doesn't get a game time?
I think so.
And
Here's
then,
the biggest, I
and then
think that's the biggest-
also he'll be on a wage, of course, but he won't be on anywhere or near anyone else is on.
I mean, that's true. But again, like that may just be an option for him. Like, say you have an unruly player who doesn't want to play or doesn't want to practice. Like with the roster log, you don't have a chance to do anything about that. Like,
I also don't think if Europeans get a European sub and that player has to go out there for 12 weeks, he's not going out there for 12 weeks. I'm sorry, he's not.
you'd probably pick up an American sub. Like that would be I would do anyway.
I mean, I'd if I had to be a sub, I'd be a sub. I'd go out there,
I wouldn't,
help,
yeah, but-
help how I could anyway. Vibes, fucking
here's the-
S&D
anyway,
things
There's a
like
point
that.
I was trying to make. Like, here's the biggest thing in the way for that is the way that players manage themselves currently. Is there are very few managers and coaches that tell you guys exactly what to do, where to go, and how to play. Like you guys have a lot of power in. I want to play with this guy. I want to do X, Y, and Z. Let's get this down for this. You talk about traditional sports. Talk about League of Legends. They have a very removed section of that. They have the coaches that kind of go deep into it. They have the management that say, right, this is who we're gonna get.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it's
yeah,
a lot of
like-
it's
like-
because
like
it's a lot of
Overwatch, like,
friendships.
Yeah.
You have no say in what. If COD goes to franchising, you're gonna have no say if you want to play with this guy or this guy.
Well, yeah.
The,
I
the
mean,
team's
that's,
literally gonna be picked for you. You just shut your mouth and play. You make it work.
yeah. But we're not there yet. I don't think we're there yet.
No, we're not. We're not even fucking close.
We might be there next year.
I don't know. COD players again feel very entitled to stuff they do not deserve.
that is true, and I don't want to keep going kind of round in circles, but that was kind of the last thing. I don't know if you have any other topics you want to kind of cover.
Just trying to get questions in the chat if we can, please, boys, and then we'll start answering some of them. But I'm just
Yeah,
trying to think
we're
of anything.
ending
I
it that
think we've covered quite a lot of things here, Bryce. We've been going for a while.
Yeah, I mean we kind of moved back onto.
It's been a
onto-
while, like.
That's because we were supposed to end with Blackout, and then you guys got into another great subject, so I kind of let it go.
Yeah, you said we had nothing to talk about. Get me and Reedy on more. We'll help you out.
Mate, I'll have one every week.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a PayPal or something. Yeah. my
Tan,
time is precious.
Man, I have been flying DMs out, and some of the pros' sleep schedules are disgusting. Like,
I'm
why
just
are
gonna
people
put it
waking
out,
up
yeah,
now?
I've seen some pro schedules like Penny's. He wakes up at 7 a.m.
Good man. That's what
He has the best. He has the best sleep schedule ever. It's a shite sleep schedule. Let's get it out for a pro player because scrims start at 6 p.m. because no one wants to play earlier.
That's
from
it's
Jordan.
It's so stupid.
I'm
It's
fucking
so
game to
stupid.
play early, man. I love it.
My team was trying to scrim at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. every time, but won't get into that.
All right, let's start answering some of these questions because there are some good ones. Fortnite's just gone cross-platform with PS and Xbox. Do you think it will happen to COD eventually?
Nah.
I don't think it will.
No.
It's a
PlayStation has the right.
exclusive.
PlayStation has the rights to a COD, don't they? So
Yeah.
nope.
Jordan, someone asked how you're feeling towards Chelsea right now.
Fucking bottle job shit team, fucking awful team.
Brilliant. Moving on. What do we think about odds on franchising launch the next game?
Very high.
Yeah, I think it's high.
Yeah.
I think we're already looking at
I think they've kind of hinted at it just by making it go 5v5.
yeah. Not only that, but the way that this whole year set up is very very NFL. so I can kind of see it going
Yeah,
that way as well.
There's something, well, not leaked out, but I'm sure Richard Lewis reported on something that they'd apparently offered the.
Well, that was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago that happened.
Was it? Was it not something recently?
Well, it was the start of the OWL.
Oh, and they said to
Like,
them that
when
they
they first went out and
Yeah,
they said,
so it was. I'm pretty sure it was like a compromisation for teams to get into the Overwatch League that they'd have the spots to the COD World League as well.
yeah, they're trying to up it. So
Do you think we'll?
They're trying to make people come in there.
Do you think Black Ops 4 will bring in back the viewers lost in World War II? Yes. I think we're probably gonna have the
Without a doubt.
one
Trout
of the
game.
most. Yeah.
I feel like it would be in 5v5 as well, and every roster having like this extra man.
First event, I reckon, will maybe break records.
well, of course it does. It means 80% of the year basically we worked out. It's mental. That first event is going to be insane in Vegas. One of the biggest events of the year. I would actually say.
I don't know if it's going to break records because of the time zone.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
8 hours for European fans, EU fans, it's going to suck.
Nah, that'll still break records.
If you're a European fan, let's all go over there. Fuck it, all of us. Let's just invade Vegas.
Yeah, Brice is playing for fights.
Yeah, I mean, I won several billion recently. I'm good for it. Do you think we'll see further roster movement this week?
Yes.
Oh really? Do you think do you mean announcements or do you think more movement?
Well, look how close it is to the game coming out. It's Wait, no.
Hey, we're close.
We are.
I think from the 1st of October.
I say,
next week. I think next week.
it might start Sunday.
Okay.
Whenever for Americans, whenever John Paul's is fucking.
But that's
thing
it,
out.
isn't it? It's people are saying
All
that
of
it's,
LG and
it's
Gunless
such
and
a
that. Like,
domino
come on,
effect.
man.
as
All your
soon
fingers
as
up,
one
boys.
goes-
Get
Actually, no, it's not them, is it? It's the orgs. Like,
Yeah, true that.
we won't get into it, but contracts are a fucking madness.
Yes, they are. Yes, they certainly are. All right, let's move on. Someone asked about the CS:GO game mode. Thoughts on it?
Shite.
Didn't play it.
I didn't
Right,
play
I
it because it was
played it.
shite.
I played a little bit of it, but I think
I thought it was
there's
shite.
too many things that you would have to fix.
Yeah, it was shite.
The fact that you can buy you can buy score streaks.
I'd just say it was shite and move on.
Balance, mate. Brice has its balance. Like.
Yeah, we've
It's shite. Let's move on. Next question.
All right, next question. Moving on. I don't know about that one, so I'm going to skip that one.
It's Jimbo, not Jambo.
I was going to say. I thought that.
Yeah, it's the ex Halo Pro. I don't know.
Who's he playing with? Stace in that, isn't he?
It'll be hard because obviously he's a Halo Pro, so coming over to a COD game, I don't think he's gonna get a big shot. But
I think Jimbo's gonna be decent. Yeah,
He'll be
like
decent.
alright, cool. Maybe not this year.
no, I'm just saying like getting a big shot like now. Obviously, he
Oh
won't
no,
get
he
one
ain't,
now.
yeah, he ain't gonna get one now. It's just not gonna happen.
Well,
Like,
he's gonna
look,
step into a
look,
top team massively
yeah, look
free.
what happened with Formal. Like when he first moved over, he was on a really. He was with all the Halo players, and then he went on to like a TK team, I think it was.
Envy, wasn't it?
No, he went on to TK first, and then he got brought onto Envy, and then he went to Optic.
It's
But, like,
it's all about the shot he gets, and COD is really insular with that.
Especially with EU, man. I mean, the players he's playing with, like Stace and that, fucking yeah. I don't want to speak about that one.
Next question is pretty good. Do you feel this profession is getting to a stage of players doing it purely for the salary and not the passion of competing anymore? Yeah, he thinks 90% don't seem to care about who they're with, but more how much they're making. I do think it's going that way.
I
know we
agree.
spoke about it.
I agree for the most part, but like there's like some players like my team for instance. Like I would admit if I was just playing for a salary, but
Yeah.
everyone on my team, yeah, I've seen Reese when he loses, I've seen Joe when he loses, I've seen Matt when he loses, and they've seen me when we lose. It is
I think it's
No,
rare,
like,
but I think
yeah.
it has happened more.
like everyone's making nice money. Let's not get it twisted, but why would you not want to make more?
I think
Yeah.
it doesn't so much happen at the very top because these are the competitors that want to win over and over and over again.
And that's why
I
they're
think
top.
it's like 12 to 16s. Some of them maybe you would think that they're just picking up a pay packet because they know they're not going to win an event essentially, and they're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I think there's a few now.
I mean,
there
like-
wasn't 5 years ago, but again, 5 years ago you had nothing to play for, so that wasn't even a question.
Yeah, you literally wanted to win. You had to win
Yeah.
if you wanted to make money.
That's
Um,
good.
Let's move on. Quick fire questions. Odds on Europe getting more events?
There's less events this year. I would say we'll have the same amount as we did last year. I would
I
like
say
to
we're gonna have one event, and it'll be in London.
I'd like to think that
My gaff
I would.
in the garage.
Well, you live in Colchester.
I would
Yeah,
hope
based on
the whole national circuit thing maybe goes a bit more to do with LAN, but
Oh, that's crazy. Who suggested that?
You did.
Oh,
I think you're right.
scroll up in the chat. Oh, that's crazy.
Where
Look
did
at Tunn taking the. Look at.
Where?
Oh, look at that.
Where? Where?
Oh, look at that. Look what I
Right.
put.
I'm gonna move on. You two have
Hold
this
on, let
love
me
of
quote
Tiff.
it.
Oh, I didn't even
You put it
look.
back. Yeah,
I didn't
sure you
even
didn't,
look.
Tunn.
And it definitely shouldn't be around there. Anyway.
All right, the next question is really good. Thoughts on the whole discussion of player salaries being made public?
I don't think it should.
I think it should.
Yeah,
eventually you'll
fuck
get
it, get it all out.
Nah,
Tre's
nah.
on 30 grand a mom.
Nah, I say get it all out, yeah, just for the pure fact of I can be. I know how much every team's making in general, but
Wait,
let's just get it out there, just so everyone.
It's mainly it's leak shit, isn't it? It's like agents that leak it because
Let's
they
just
want
get it out there,
to
just
know
for the
how well
fun
you've done.
fact. Yeah, let's just get it out there. Twitter will be a madness for
I
a while.
think
Let's
it,
get it.
It's not
I
the
honestly
BBC,
feel
mate.
like
It can't
it
just
would.
be-
I feel like it would help because some of these orgs don't realize what, like the market at the minute. Like the market at the minute. I think it's
some orgs don't believe what actually some players are making because it's so bullshit.
I think
like,
if
if
the
it was
problem
made
is
publicly, maybe like other big orgs would see like, all right, people are paying this much for X, Y, and Z. Like, it's not that much of like, because people do see COD esports as a joke, and like, let's be fucking honest now, console players,
know.
rah rah rah. But some of
mean,
these players
yeah.
are making more than CS players. You know what I mean?
100%. It's like there's a lot of people are seeing a lot of value into players, and I get it. I think what we the problem is in traditional sports, for instance, like if a player gets signed for X million a year or X a week, that's only part of their wage. Another part of their wage comes through their deals and sponsorship deals and who they rep and all that sort of stuff. In Call of Duty, there isn't as many outside deals outside of your guys' salary in the prize pool. And again, like because it's not like it'd be different if we're saying, oh yeah, Trei signed $100 grand a week deal. At that point, you know, he's on $100 grand a week. He doesn't give a shit. But like you're talking what you guys are actually on. While it's very good money, it's still not like break the bank. Oh god, you know, I'm out here balling. So it's, in my opinion, like I've always, but that's my opinion. I'm very much old school. I don't talk about what I make to anybody.
I only talk about what
Too
I make to
much.
my family.
Yeah.
And even they're in disbelief, so.
All right, let's kind of move on. Someone asks, they don't turn 18 till late season. How do they build the rep?
S&D.
Yeah, just play S&D challenges and S&D tournaments. Actually, I don't even know about tournaments. Maybe they might be active again.
Just play S&D Charles, try and get some against some Americans, and then the pro. This is what happens here. Be an S&D star, play against some Americans, play high rollers. Obviously, don't spend money you don't have. Obviously, play wages, and then some of you pros will come and play wages with you, and then you have a name like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's interesting because this isn't really a question, but apparently Waskin says he's announcing on the 1st.
I'm pretty sure they did make that
yeah.
public, right?
Yeah. Well, it's in the chat. That's why I'm reading out the chat.
Well, if someone
Oh,
said that,
oh.
then it's true.
Waskin says he's announcing on the 1st. Okay, we'll find out where that
His
gets.
vision tomorrow. Do not care.
No idea.
But I suppose that'll have implications on how things are going, unless we already sort of like. I mean, everyone knows.
Like
what the
every
rumored-
pro knows what's happening.
Okay.
People asking about Switch games. What games would you like to play pro other than COD? What would you play if you weren't playing COD
Fortnite,
Pro?
because there's 100 million on the line.
Brilliant. Jordan?
Yes, because I love S&D. Yes.
Fair enough.
Wait, would you rather play Rainbow Six then?
No, that shit's way too campy for me.
Whoa,
Bro, people are
Brice
fucking
loves
losers on
it,
that
mate.
game, by the way. People
Alright,
are
let's not get into- listen,
big losers on
I've
that
got a
game.
meal in front of me and I'm
Holy
trying
fuck.
to eat it.
We'll close this up very quickly. There's like probably two.
I'm down to keep answering questions, just not down to getting the comment.
That's cool.
Just Rainbow
If we
Six.
franchise do X-Codcasts like Puck and X-Cast both, they probably would dip across, but I don't think it would be a big thing. I think it would be more they'd want to.
I think it'd be like a
Because-
one-off event thing.
Because they could do
Yeah.
it now. It doesn't matter if it's franchise or not. They could do it now if they wanted.
But they're OWL guys, and the OWL guys are busy, from what I understand. They probably would need more casters for the league. That's a good thing. What about the variant leagues?
Bryce is in. Psych.
Oh, well, why
Is
would
that,
it
mate?
strike? Bryce is fucking the best. Like,
No, Bryce knows what I feel about him. I've told him.
Sorry, guys. I'm always going to be here for you. All right. Well, it looks like that may be the end of our questions, and we have gone way over what the time we were going to, and you guys have been super
15.
patient with it.
Magic.
So, guys, any shout-outs for coming on for us? Reedy? Are you still looking for an org?
yeah, we are still looking for an org. We've got a couple offers on the table, but we want to take our time and make sure we commit to the right place.
Yeah.
That's going to help both parties. Yeah. So if any orgs are looking to enter COD for the next year, hit my Twitter DMs at Reedy_1905.
Beautiful. I'm sure Tom will put that in the post edit. And
Really fuck lazy prick.
Trei?
Shout out to Red Reserve for being the best org there is.
Fantastic. What are you eating, Trey?
Not telling you.
Oh wow. Wow. All right. Tunn, anything from you?
No, all good. Just make sure you follow the channel. We'll be back live again next week. And any pros who are sitting in there, slide my DMs if you want to jump in. Hopefully,
I'm sure Reedy will be back.
Oh, he loves
Yeah,
it.
no,
He's a
I
resident. I'm going to get your
Right.
name under your screen in a second.
Don't make this Reedy show.
Spitfire
Spitfire with Reedy. That's how it's going to be.
But if anybody wants in, just let me know. And hopefully we actually have confirmed rosters to talk about. I know a lot of people in the chat would have liked us to drop some knowledge, but I'll be honest with you. Go on, Reddit.
Don't give it away. All right. Well, I guess that is everything. Again, a big shout out for Reedy and Zero. Thank you so much for giving up your time for coming on. You two are welcome whenever you want. I'll talk to you about some other stuff I have coming up for you guys actually as well off stream. But yeah, guys, I can't appreciate it enough. I know people want to hear from you, and this show isn't about me and Tunn. It's about the players and their opinions and how we see the year breaking down. So it does really kind of mean a lot to get you guys on, especially really you've done this twice now. So thank you very much. Hopefully we can continue when you guys are all busy and playing and stuff. Again, Tunn, thanks for running the production and stuff.
Thanks, mate. A
You
little bit of appreciation.
You did it right this time.
Yeah, a little bit of appreciation doesn't go wasted. It's all right.
Thanks to all the people watching. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I know my internet and mic has been better this week.
So much better. Oh my god.
Yeah. Feel free to use hashtag Spitfire to tweet us questions for next week. I've got a few topics in mind, but we'll find out exactly what is going on. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Spitfire, and we'll see you next time.